Hi guys, welcome to the Dive In podcast. My name is Sheila.
My name is Lydia. Welcome back to another episode. We are so glad that you're here with us. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It supports us. We can't wait to share what we have with you today.
Today's topic, we're going to talk about what we would tell ourselves as a new immigrant / student in Australia. So let's dive right into it.
There's so much to talk about here. I feel like there's so much we need to talk about. So what would you want to say first?
So I think what we would like to discuss first is we were both students. Things first. We came to Australia as students, so we were both students, and we have navigated this journey. So basically, what we are sharing is our experience. We are not migration agents. We're not giving advice about how to get here. So if you need that advice, just look for the right channels. What we are sharing is basically our journey, our personal journey, and how we navigated it. And we hope that the lessons that we picked from it are going to help you as well. Isn't it, Lydia?
Right, that's true. And I think the first thing we should talk about is the migration process. You already mentioned something to do with migration agents. So let's begin there. So there are so many agents out there who can give information on how to arrive in Australia and how to get here. We came as students. So the process was, of course, it takes a while. For everyone it's different. But we used migration agents, and then we sourced information by ourselves also. We did our own research. Guys, information is power. What the agent tells you is not enough. Make sure you Google, make sure you ask a friend who lives in Australia about things to do with Australia, things to do with school, things to do with uni. Just source out as much information as you can for yourself first, even before going to an agent.
100%. I think when you have all the information, you will make an informed decision. If you don't have enough information, people will just tell you what you want to hear or what benefits them. Because at the end of the day, migration is a whole business as well. So you have to make sure that the decisions you're making, you've actually researched, so do your due diligence.
True.
So I think that's the most important thing, because a lot of the times students get here and what they were told or the decisions they made are wrong, and that's purely based on the information that were given. They were given by the agent. So like Lydia said, second opinion. Ask someone, go online. If it's about school, if it's about a course, if I was to go back to before I came to Australia, I would actually, if I had any questions, I would email the school. They will communicate to you. Just email the school and ask all the questions that you have, and they will get back to you. So do your own research before you make important decisions, because at the end of the day, it's money. It's a lot of money. You don't want to come here with a course that's so expensive and maybe it's not what you want. It's just what the agent told you.
Exactly.
And then you have to change it and whatnot. So if you want to come here or you're already here, this video is really good for you, so watch it.
And we are also happy to answer any questions about migration that you have. Just general questions, like just DM us on the Dive In Pod on Instagram, and also comment on the video. We'll be happy to answer the questions that you have about migration to Australia. So about that, say you've landed, what would you say about that?
Where you land really matters, because the people who
actually receive you.
That's the word. The people who actually receive you will kind of create that, you're new, you're like a clean slate, right?
True.
You don't know anything, so whatever you will be taught to you will be your foundation.
Truth.
It will be your foundation here in Australia. So I feel like where you land really matters. And having said that, sometimes you don't have a choice, because some of us, like myself, when I came here, my host, we'd never met. We were just connected by someone who knew someone, and she was wonderful to me. But a lot of the times you don't have a choice. So where you land, you just land. But the most important thing, going back to the first point, information. So research, so that even if your host doesn't give you enough info, at least you would have done your own research, isn't it?
That's true.
Yeah. So I think where you land really matters, because those people will teach you the right way or the wrong way.
Yeah, they
Something
set
like that.
the tone for you. They do. Like, for example, in my experience, the lady that received me, her name is, should I say her name? Hi, Hedwig, how are you? She actually picked me up from the airport, and she's one of my sister's best friends. And so she gave me sound advice, you know? Like,
that's what she did.
I feel like I was fearful, and she was just like, listen, if some of us are here and we've been here all this time and we've made it, and you know, we are doing well, you can do well too. And I feel like that really encouraged me, because I was you know, I was full of fear and doubt.
Of course.
But you know what, thank God that she's the one who picked me up. And this also goes out to anyone who's picking up anyone from the airport. Just encourage them, you know, encourage them, because yeah, it's not easy, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. So
and I love that point that you've talked about those who, like the hosts now, right? Because we were talking about where you land, which is really the host.
That's
so
right.
If you are the host of someone, it's not, first of all, thank you for being a host, because it's not easy. It's not easy to, because, you know, it's like being given a baby. You really have to teach. It's a sacrifice, you know, sacrifice of your privacy, of your time, to show them around and stuff. So, but also when you do that, just do it wholeheartedly, because Lydia said before, it's their foundation here, you know. So just help them, show them the right way, and be honest with them. Like, be honest with them from the beginning. Like, before they actually come here, I feel like it's important. It's important that you tell them the kind of help you can offer them.
True.
If you can host someone, tell them the rent, how the rent is here. Tell them roughly the expenses, if they can come with the money to sustain themselves. Tell them how long you can host them for. Don't just say, yeah, cool, ntaku host. And then once someone gets here, you're like, well, you've got to leave. You've got to find your own place in 2 weeks, and you know they don't have a job and they don't have the money or whatever. So be honest from the get-go, you know. And you, as a student or an immigrant who's coming, ask these questions. Like, say, how long do you think you can host me? And whatever, you know.
How much is the rent?
Like, would you want me to contribute to the rent from the get-go, or you know, like, ask all these questions. Like, a lot of the times we assume these things, you know, like, you know, that it's an African thing, which is good. Like, we just live with each other. But when you get to a space where life is life is expensive, everyone's gotta chip in. If you don't contribute, it just becomes an issue. So be honest as a host, and also that leads me to, when you're a student, also, like, be proactive.
Ask. Don't just wait to be told. You know, ask. And as a student also, you should be like, so how okay, when can I start school? Are you going to be able to show me where the train station is? You be the first person to ask such questions. It's a good thing for the host to see that, you know, you're proactive and you're
showing
eager
initiative
to learn. And in that way, you can find your footing early, and you will settle earlier, and it will be quicker for you. You know,
and you know that the sooner you settle yourself, the better it is for yourself, the better it is for a relationship, the relationship between you and your host. Sometimes when you overstay, there'll always be drama. It's just natural. It's just human nature. Like, you know, I like things done this way, you do things that way, I don't want that and whatnot. So like Lydia said, be proactive and be open-minded. Like, be open-minded when you come, when you migrate to anywhere, not just Australia. Like, you've got to be open-minded. You cannot come and with a closed mind, whereby you think things should go a certain way. If things don't go the way you wanted, I think it's just important that you're willing to change, you know, or accept things as they are, and learn new things. You know, you've got to be adaptable. Is that the word? You've got to be adaptable to the new environment. And most of the times, it's not what you think. Because when I was in Kenya coming to Australia, what I imagined in my mind, it's not that. It wasn't that. You know, it was all right. It was good. Really, it was really, really good. But it was just not what I thought. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that students have that in mind, that you're open-minded, that you listen, that you're proactive, that you show initiative, so that your life will be easy. And listen, like, just listen, you know. Sometimes I just feel like some students get really a good host, and they try and tell you, the right things, and they try and give you what's the word, tips, so that you are a few steps ahead.
Yeah.
But people just don't listen, bro. Like, people just do their own thing, you know? It's like, I'm not trying to tell you these things to make you fail or whatever. I'm trying to actually get you ahead.
Yeah.
So just be an active listener.
True.
Isn't it?
And with that said, I think I would just want to give a quick shout out to Eve. Eve was one of the best hosts ever. I talk about her all the time. I just say she really gave me, like, an opportunity to just explore.
Yeah.
She was really good with helping me to get to school, opening bank accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She was really, really, and she was very real with me. She was like, if you buy this is very expensive. There's this other option of buying this and this and this and this,
Yeah.
And in that way, like Sheila said, like, listening, it helps. It even makes it easier for the host to share more with you, because you're more open, you're open to the options
Ideas
that you're
being given. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
we're both so lucky. My host was Betty too, so
shout out. We love you guys. Thank you for hosting us.
Yes, I know.
And so for the host, right? I feel like I need to share something that I experienced, and I feel like this is how I would want to kind of mold this point out.
Yeah.
So there's a time that a few friends of mine were going to pick up a sibling of a friend who had arrived here, and we arrived at the airport. We picked up where we were supposed to pick up, and we noticed this really young guy who was seated constantly on his phone. He kept looking around, it's like he's looking for someone. We stayed there for like an hour and a half, just, chatting, because we were like, oh, well, you've arrived, you can have coffee here. That guy was there the whole time, just looking at his phone. So other Kenyans that had arrived came, picked up their people, left. Picked up their people, left. This specific guy was there for the whole time since we arrived. So I remember asking, my friends, like, how come no one is coming for this guy? And it turns out, so we asked him, and it turns out that the guy who was supposed to host him was in another state. And yet this guy had landed in Sydney. So I was asking him, so what will happen to you? Like, what will happen? And he was like, I have his number, but it's not going through. And when you land, you don't have an Australian number. So, and even the airport Wi-Fi is a bit shaky. You can't really, like, place a proper call. And I just remember wondering, how can we help him? So we called the guy, and the guy was in Queensland, and it was just a whole mess. And you could just see the worry in this guy's eyes.
Can you imagine being new in a country and then like...
So as a host, listen, if you've told someone's parents or someone's friends that you're picking someone up, pick them up, be there, show up. Because what if we didn't ask? What would have happened to that guy?
I know someone actually, it's really sad. It breaks my heart. Like you said, be honest. Be honest to if you're in another state, just say, I'm in another state, I can't host you, or I'll try and find people to come and pick you up. Also, I've just remembered, I think I've had a story like that. And this one now did not end really well, because this lady was sharing her story after it happened. After she settled, like, it was not like meeting her at the airport or anything like that. This lady, she didn't have it. The person who was supposed to pick her up did not pick her up, and then she was just stranded at the airport. And then someone from another country asked and said, oh, who's picking you up? And she was like, she's not answering, whatever, I don't know anyone else. And this guy took her home. This guy's like, it's okay, we can take you home. I can host you. And they ended up being in a relationship, which I think it was just out of... Yeah, it's weird. I think they ended up kind of dating, but I think the dating was more like, because you're helping me. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
It's like
I get what you mean.
A benefit because I'm hosting you, which is really sad. And turned out this guy had mental issues, and when this girl was ready to move out and whatever, he was a bit funny and stalking, and anyway, too much drama and domestic violence. So don't let someone's child suffer like that. Just tell them, if you can't host them, just be honest. Be honest. There's no point saying I'll come and pick you up, and then I think that's really messed up.
And if you're not around, get people to go and pick this person up. Like just make sure you do your part.
Because if you're new in a country, man, like you're already scared. Imagine. Like, I remember I cried all the way to Sydney.
Really?
I did.
Oh my goodness, really?
Did. Oh yeah, it was very scary because didn't know anyone here.
Wow.
Yeah, but here we are.
Yeah.
So do you have a tip?
I have one pro tip. This is, guys, if you haven't heard anything that we've said, listen to this one, please. Come to Australia when you know how to drive. Please learn how to drive. Come here, and you need to know how to drive. Yeah.
If you know how to drive, it will really help you, like in terms of jobs and stuff. And when we say learn how to drive properly, not just in the village. Learn how to drive properly. Like, learn how to drive properly. Seriously, because a lot of people say, oh, I know how to drive. And then when they get here, they don't know how to drive. Like, they're scared. Like, I'm not trying to diss anyone, but like they're scared to drive in the highways and main roads, whatever. So, learn how to drive and practice. Practice back home. Practice properly. That will help you be a few steps ahead.
Be confident enough.
That's right.
To drive in a place where there's lots of cars, traffic, and all that, it's a pro tip, you'll thank us later.
Yes. So you've been hosted, and now we want to talk about the people that you surround yourself with as an international student or as an immigrant, I think those people are so important, and it really takes maturity, I should say, to choose the kind of friends that you surround yourself with. They always say, show me your friends and I'll show you your...
And I'll tell you who you are.
There you go. And I'll tell you who you are. When you come to Australia, you find a lot of... not just Australia. If you go anywhere, there'll be new people who believe in, have different values. And I think it's really important that you surround yourself with people whose mindset align with yours. Because it can really influence you negatively.
That's true.
If you surround yourself with people who say their priority is to, say, look rich,
Oh, the impression.
Online.
Yeah.
Please the people back home. Like, I'm abroad, I'm doing really well. While actually, it's the contrary to that. I think you will just be lost. So what do you think about that, Lydia?
And even if it's real, right, that you're doing very, very well, it's up to you as a student to realize that that is their life, and you can set your own, tone to things. And I feel like most people, it's a thing that, people come abroad and they're like, I'm doing very well, everything's all good. But in real sense, guys, it is a struggle to get to where we are right now. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes sacrifice, and we're not saying we are there yet. We're not where we want to be, but at least we know we are making the right steps to get there.
That's it.
So
the right steps. I love that. Take the right steps. Like, don't try and get ahead of yourself. I love what you said, Lydia. Take the right steps and just take your time. Like, when you come here to Australia, or if you're coming, we will be saying Australia a lot because we're in Australia. But like, if you're here as an international student, your main focus is to study. Do that.
True.
Like, just do that. Everything else is not going anywhere. Like, the party life, whatever other extra thing you want to do is not going anywhere. But if you're here on a student visa, then your visa condition is that you attend school, that you study. So I think it's important that people do that, and also our parents sacrifice a lot for us to be here.
True.
They really they give us everything for us to be here. So I think it's important that the least you can do is actually do what they sent you to do, which is to study and finish your uni and graduate, and everything else will just follow, you know?
True, and even if you're doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself too. Because in that way, if you're studying, at least you know you're moving forward. It's not like, you know, something that's not growing is dead. So you have to keep moving. Like if you come here and you're supposed to study, you know, that in that way it'll open more doors. It'll be a stepping stone to so many opportunities in this country especially, you know. So yeah,
it is so sad that a lot of students now have just derailed. Like a lot of students just they don't study, they don't go to uni anymore. They've just found other, you know, extra stuff that they're doing, which might not be bad, you know, it might not be anything bad. It just, the fact that you've just let go of your main purpose here, which was to study, and then, you know, that leads us to visa conditions. When you're a student, you're on, like, you have conditions on your visa. Read them and stick to them. A lot of people don't read that. I must admit, I didn't read that when I was a student, but I was like, I really stayed true to my course, which was uni. So I didn't really do anything wrong, you know, like, or didn't do anything against my visa. So a lot of migration agents will tell you, stick to your visa conditions. One of them is always that you attend class. So
true.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
And since we'll be talking about so many serious things, and I'm sure you guys are like, oh my God, these girls, they're like, they're not giving us, there's no space for fun. Guys, you can have fun in Australia. You can have fun. You just have to have that balance. It depends on your priorities, right? Like you can go to uni, you can party if you want to. Like it's just a balance. That's what we are saying. It's a balance. It doesn't mean that Australia, you know, you can't, you know, go out and party and, you know, save and go for trips, and you can do all that. It's just that in this, you know, in this episode, we're trying to, you know,
talk to the students mainly.
The students who want to come, and the ones that are new.
So I love that.
The balance.
Work-life balance.
It's very important.
Very important. What else can we talk about when you're talking about being an international student or just being a new immigrant? Is financial knowledge.
Wow. That's a big thing, especially for people who've never worked before. Personally, I had never been employed before. So, like, when I got here, I didn't know what is too expensive and what is affordable. Like, somebody will tell me, this is expensive. And I'm like, but it's only $100. But they're like, for I don't know, maybe let's say, for example, it's for a shoe. They'll be like, for a shoe, 100, like you're just beginning, you don't have a job yet. And maybe that was like the little pocket money my parents gave me. But I think I was thinking in terms of Kenya, like, you know, what,
100 Kenyan shillings?
It's 10K. Boom. You know? But I think for the people who've never worked before and, you know, they've never probably handled money, it's important to just try and get financial knowledge from the people around you. Like, information, again, is power.
That's
just
true.
know how much could be too expensive and how much could be affordable and how much is cheap and is a good bargain, you know, and how to save.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Well,
you need, if you need to save your money for whatever reason, you have to have some financial knowledge. And that includes, like, just knowing, you know, what you need versus what you want. You know, you're a student. And a lot of the times people really use their finances for the wrong reason. Like, you know, like, again, trying to please people back home. Like, you know, I'm doing well, I'm wearing this brand and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to wear brands, that's fine. Like, you know, you just have to be true to yourself on your limits or, you know, what you can afford and what you can't. So, that's very important. And just pay your school fees, you know, priority number one, make sure your school fees is paid, so that you don't get in trouble again with a student visa. I know. I must admit, when I arrived, the one thing that I was focused on buying was just shoes. Oh, I want those. Oh, I want those. Oh, I want those. I know.
But I mean, later you're like, oh, I spent so much on shoes. But yeah, it's a good thing to just...
Yeah, life, what did you say before? You said work-life, school balance.
Balance.
Yeah, work-life, school balance. That's what you need when you're a student. Another thing is to realize that there are services available to you. As soon as you land here, there are services available to you. First things first, you just come with your student insurance cover.
Yeah.
So with the student insurance cover, you can actually visit the GP. Some of them have bulk billing, which means you don't pay anything. Some of them you pay and then you claim from your insurance. So use those services, you know. There are counseling services. Don't stress too much. School can be very stressing on top of loneliness because, you know, sometimes you don't have family here. Most of us didn't have family here when we were studying. But and sometimes even just making friends is not that easy as it seems, even though there's other Kenyans here. So just make sure you're not lonely, and or if you're stressed, just talk to someone. The unis normally have the counseling services. So use that. Yeah, it's free normally at uni. What was the other services? Like, you know, mental health checks, you know, speak to your GP. Don't get stressed by yourself. It's very lonely out here as an international student.
It is. It's
very hard because, you know, you're now working under pressure of uni work. You've got to go to work, you know. You're trying to balance. When you're off, you don't have friends to hang out with. So your life kind of is like boring at the beginning. But just take your time. Take your time. Find a community. Find people that, you know, are like-minded. And then, you should be fine. But use the services. They're available to you.
They are. And also, we have communities like the Kenyan community, you know, like Kiswa, Club 50. These are groups, like WhatsApp groups that people, you know,
share jobs.
They share jobs. You know, if you're looking for accommodation, people say, you know, they're putting their hand up and saying, you know, I have an extra room if anyone wants to, you know, to rent it out. There are communities out there that can help you too. So don't die of loneliness. And
don't isolate yourself as well. Sometimes people intentionally do that because they think, oh, people are just dramatic. But people are dramatic, don't get me wrong. But like, not everybody is dramatic. Like, not everybody's, you know, not everybody's not nice. You know, there are nice people out there. So just find your community, you know. And the only way you will actually find out if someone is good for you is by engaging with them. You would not just assume. So engage with people. And if you feel like they're not the kind of people you want to be around with, that's all right. You know, that's cool. You can just move on. But don't isolate yourself in the name of, you know, I hear this a lot. Oh, I don't want anything to do with Kenyans, for example, us, which is really sad. But at the end of the day, like, we get each other, you know, like
more than anyone.
That's right. You make other people from other countries are really cool. But like, you know,
we get you more.
We get you more. You get each other, you know. So don't isolate yourself. Find your community. It might take a little bit, but find your community.
We pray that you even make like friends who, you know, you wouldn't be as lonely. Even if they're not from your community, or even if they are, just friends. You wouldn't be lonely.
That's mainly what we had about being an
one more thing. I just remembered. Expectations.
Oh yes. How could we forget that?
Expectations from parents back home, friends back home, extended family, siblings. Listen, there's always expectations. The moment you land here, people will be like, you know, looking at your social media and wondering how you are doing and all that. And then there's also that expectation where, you know, like, you know, especially this is for people who are back home, life is not as easy as it may seem, all right?
Out here.
Yes, out here. And sometimes people are really struggling. And it's a good thing instead of, because most people make the mistake of telling their loved ones, send me money, make sure you send me money, send me something all the time. And listen, we all need it, but at the same time, it's a good thing to, for a moment, you be the first person to say, listen, I'm praying for you. I hope you're doing well. Check up on these people instead of you put too much expectation, like give. Yeah. What do you think?
I think that's really a good point. And also, parents and family back home, don't compare your children.
That's true.
Like a lot of people, if a neighbor's daughters come abroad and they're really doing well, you know, and you know, how well they're doing is reflecting back home by maybe what they're doing at home. And maybe your child is not doing as well as that child, like as the neighbor's child. Don't compare your children. Like everyone's journey is different, you know. Some people just make it, but like with time.
Takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah, some people are quick to adapt to the new environment, you know, get jobs, whatever. But some people are just slow. But the most important thing is just to support your children. You're supposed to encourage them, you know, message them and always check on them, like Lydia said. And also for you as a student, if you're coming here as a student or you're already here as a student, be true to yourself. Like people will always have expectations, but if you're true to yourself, it doesn't matter what people expect from you or what people actually want from you. So just be true to yourself. Let people have their own expectations, that's fine. But you who is here studying, you know where you're at. So just take your time, you know, keep to your lane and everything will work out for you.
True. Give yourself grace. Just take things slowly. Remember to pause and breathe. And you know, like take it all in. You know, sometimes we come here and we're like go, but you don't really pause and realize that, you know what, I'm actually, you know, I'm doing well. Give yourself some credit and say, I'm doing well, and and better things are yet to come.
And having said all that, we just wanted to also congratulate all the students who are here and are doing well and are studying and are thriving. Good job. And to all the parents back home who are supportive of their children, thank you. So if you have any questions about being a student or wanting to come to Australia as a student or, you know, wanting to migrate to Australia as a skilled migrant, please comment below. Let us know. Ask us on our socials, DM us at the Diving Pod, and we will respond to you.
For sure. And I hope that somehow this video will encourage people who are back home to check on their loved ones here. Check on them more. Check on them more. Check on them more. You'd be surprised how much support that would be for someone here.
That's really, I love that. That's really good. Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being with us. We love being here and we love having you with us. Until next time. Bye.